Well, boys, it sucks here. I hate it. The Premier League this weekend was awful. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different clubs. My name is James. I have the unfortunate pleasure of supporting Arsenal. With me tonight, that is Brad. He supports Chelsea. And down below is Sean. He supports Tottenham. Brad, I see that you have retrieved your Chelsea gear. You are happy.
Just one.
Just one. You're
just one piece out of the box. Just my hat.
You're happy to support Chelsea again.
I took the hat out of the box. I am cautiously becoming optimistic again.
Well, that's a recipe for disaster, let me tell you.
We know that's facts. That is a recipe for disaster. But you know what? For this week, I am ecstatic. I am overjoyed. I am ready to talk some footy.
All right, we'll get into Chelsea, but okay. Well, I'll hold my comment until we get to Chelsea. All right, what we have on offer for you tonight, we are going to recap what happened, the atrocity that was the Premier League weekend, match week 33. We will talk about it, and then we'll be out of here. That's all we're doing. Before we dig into this conversation, though, if you are new here, if you stumbled across us, first, thank you. Thank you for clicking on the video or the podcast. Thank you for listening for the last minute and a half, and I hope you continue throughout the duration of this podcast. But if you could do us the favor of hitting that subscribe button, ringing the sub notification bell if you're on YouTube, if you're on one of the podcast sites, hit it with a follow. 5-star review would really be helpful if you think we've earned it. We would really appreciate it. And we'd love to hear from your comments, either on YouTube or in our Discord channel, which is our Discord server, which is listed in the description of this video or podcast below. So without any further ado, gentlemen, I feel like I'm saying this every week, but we have a new leader at the top of the Premier League. It's not a new leader. They've been there before, and it's not an unfamiliar leader because they've won it for the past 3 seasons. But Manchester City is in sole possession of first place in the Premier League.
The robot's a robot.
I give Brad a lot of shtick, and we should continue doing so. I'm not saying I'm letting him off the hook for this. I saw a post of 100. That apparently today or yesterday was the 130th anniversary of the creation of Manchester City football.
I saw that too.
And there was a lot of highlights, and 99.9% of those highlights were from the last 15 to 20 years.
I think it was even less time
than
that.
Yes.
Which is hilarious to me that you have 130 years of heritage and you can't pull anything from the previous 100 years.
Yeah.
So how is this? Wait. So how is this tying back into not giving me shtick for something? What did I do right?
Because Chelsea are the same way. If you pulled if you did a montage of the history of Chelsea, 99.9% of it would be.
It would be 20 to 25 years old.
Yeah, 25 years old, sir. So we have some history now, sir. It's a quarter of a century, not a decade.
Okay, fair. Okay, what it?
All right, well, buddy.
I'm just saying. I'm not letting
down.
Okay, all right.
Hold on.
Chelsea's legal now. Sorry.
Man City's footage was younger than the last time Tottenham lifted a trophy.
Okay, fair enough. I'm glad you got that off your chest. You're still a sham of a club for 100 years.
True.
You were a sham of a club for a century while we were winning trophies.
I think we could.
I feel like that's wrong there.
I feel like we might need to fact check that because Chelsea have had league titles before Roman, right? They had league, they first division titles.
First division titles and at least a FA Cup.
If I were to imagine, it was when most of the men were in Europe fighting in 1940 to 45.
That's when Tottenham was popping off, bro. You got this mixed up.
Yeah, we should actually do a deep dive.
70s, dude. It was, 70s. It was in the 70s.
So all of the real men were off in Vietnam, dying in Vietnam, and Tottenham
that wasn't
were popping off.
You need to check your dates. That was in the 60s, 70s. It was all peace
70s,
and love,
bro.
peace and love, and threesomes and stuff.
Wow,
trebles. Trebles. Speaking of
Doubles.
speaking of trebles, the treble is still on for Manchester City. So this was an incredible galaxy tangent that we just spent. So if after that nice invitation for you guys to continue listening, if you're still listening after that, A, may I commend you, and B, Chelsea, City are on top. They got a kind of obvious victory at home against Luton Town, beat Luton Town 5-1. So that was expected on Saturday. What wasn't expected on Sunday was Liverpool losing at home to Crystal Palace and Arsenal losing at home to Aston Villa. And so this leaves City in sole possession and in prime position to win the Premier League. Their run-in is significantly softer than Arsenal and Liverpool's. Almost all of their tough games are behind them, and I don't see a world where City don't just take 18 points out of the next 18 available to them and just win the league.
As my grandfather would say,
that, by the way. I think I said
as
that
my
first.
grandfather would say, they're in the catbird seat.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what a catbird is.
But Pappy said it.
But it means you're up here.
Yeah, Pappy said it, so we're going with it.
Wait, Sean, do you think they're going to drop any points? Do you think City's going to drop any of their 18?
They're dropping at least 3, I can tell you that.
Please, Lord. If there's ever a time where I need Tottenham to get a result.
So wait.
If there's one thing you can count on, it's Tottenham catching points against City.
Is it
wait.
Hold on. Is it Tottenham at the Etihad or Tottenham at home? Oh.
Etihad.
Damn
it's
it.
at the yeah.
So wait. Tottenham can get kicked out of the Champions League by Harry Kane this week.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tottenham can give the title to Arsenal. That would be the most Tottenham thing ever.
Literally,
is there more Tottenham thing in the world?
I don't think so.
Happen.
I'll take any club. Any club can take points off City at this point. I don't care which club it is.
But that would be the most Tottenham of Tottenham.
So you're telling me that you're rooting for Tottenham against City?
Absolutely. Send me a flag. I'll hang it outside my house.
Will you wear the scarf?
Send it to me. Absolutely, I'll wear the scarf. What's the song? Oh, when the Spurs go marching in.
Go marching in. Yeah, you got
when
it.
the Spurs go marching in.
Speaking of marching in,
yeah,
I think Mickey Van de Ven is still marching for a hot dog.
Okay, we hadn't touched on this. I cursory glance at the title, but really the real thing that happened this week was Newcastle shellacked Tottenham, and
it wasn't quite 5-1.
The third and fourth goal were unfortunate. The first 2 goals were disrespectful in a way that makes me angry, and it's angry in a way that I can't be mad at Van de Ven. He's been great all year. You got one stinker. I'm not ready to write him off, but they were bad. They were really bad. And I described the first one to James where the ball comes in over the top to Gordon on the top side of the field as you look at the field. He throws off Basuma, physically more dominant, clearly. It was not a penalty. I wouldn't have even called for a foul.
Yeah.
He just shoulders him off the ball. Basuma goes to the ground. Got it. Van de Ven's almost in a backpedal situation. Him and Romero trade off. Romero starts to press the ball. Van de Ven knows he has the other runner. So Van de Ven turns to run towards the runner, which is Isak. Romero presses the ball. Gordon picks out the pass, gets it to Isak. He does a little hip fake, head fake. Van de Ven is in the 13th row picking out a Chicago hot dog. And then it's from there, any striker in the league is just roasting the keeper.
Especially
once you get it,
Isak's quality.
Yeah.
Yes, one of Isak's quality, of course. There's just not, once he shimmy shakes him, Van de Ven's in the first row, and he's just got his right foot to pick where he wants to put it. It's the Vicario is one of the best goalkeepers in the league. No one's stopping that. Allison's not stopping that. Ederson's not stopping it. Isak was picking where he wanted. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
And then the second one was a very similar situation. Van de Ven is in the first row looking for a hot dog.
He's breakdancing out there. Which one was the breakdance goal?
Both of them.
The second one.
Both. He ended up on the ground. Both goals.
One he ended up face first.
It's
wow.
And he hasn't done that before. I'm not writing him off. He's a class defender, I believe. He just had a bad game and got thrown off by two different attackers that were extremely talented.
I mean, all right, let's think about like the best out and out number 9s in the league. Obviously, I think we would all say Erling Haaland is the best.
Yeah.
But
I don't think you can name 2 more players before you get to Isak.
I think the next player you would name is Isak.
Yeah,
I think he's the best.
You couldn't name 2 more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
you couldn't name 2 more.
You could make a case for Ivan Toney, perhaps.
Sure.
Ollie Watkins.
Okay, Ollie Watkins.
I could hear a claim for Watkins. I'm with you, James. I could hear Watkins. I could hear a Tony, but Isak's
he's right up.
You'd be hard pressed to name 2 more.
You're not saying that either one of those 2 is significantly better than Isak. Yeah. No. So like, I mean, like being a central defender and getting done by arguably the second best center forward.
And I described the first one. He's sprinting the opposite way. Yeah. He's sprinting towards him, and Isak cuts inside of him. So I give him a little bit of grace on that. Of it's not easy to stop your entire momentum, but
yeah, and
you can't be Boatenged, because they were making gifs of Boateng in the Champions League by Messi put him in a grave, and they had him falling on the ground into an actual grave with Photoshop, and that's essentially what Van de Ven did.
Can you work on one of those gifs for Van de Ven? That would be fun.
I will work on that.
Just
Van de Ven just falling into a grave because he's so far gone.
I mean, it happens all the time where you just, sure. I mean, Van de Ven's in the unenviable position of needing to like make a decision, and Isak has all the control there. So like, there's nothing he can do. So thinking
when you play a high line too, you play a high line, that's what you have to deal with. You're going to get fast breaks against you, especially against a good team like Newcastle that is good at breaking the press and then springing their very talented forwards against
it. Fast forwards as well. Yeah. So let's think about this top 4 battle, or battle for 4th, let's say, because I'm sure you on Saturday morning, you see a loss to Newcastle and you're like, okay, I'm disappointed about that. I'm upset about that. That's obviously I'm not happy. But going to St. James's Park, literally any team in the division can lose. So like it can happen. But then you're like, okay, it's okay though, because Villa are going to Arsenal. Arsenal are going to beat them. And that didn't happen. Arsenal struggled mightily against Villa in the second half. I think that we were much better in the first half than Villa. Well, maybe not much better, but I think that we had that Trossard missing from 4 yards is kind of unforgivable. I mean, obviously it is forgivable because Trossard is good. Havertz less so, because Havertz was offside on all of this. Gabriel Jesus missed a header that he probably should. There were a lot of opportunities that we were not clinical with, but the Trossard one was you can't miss from 4 yards out. Like you can't hit the ball back at me when you have 75% of the goal in the other direction open. And then in the second half, we were just, I don't know if we were lethargic, if we just didn't create a lot. It was just, and the first goal that they scored, just everybody falls asleep. Like, and Declan Rice falls asleep at the back post. Gabriel Martinelli doesn't track a runner, a late runner. He should have stayed with him. Zinchenko doesn't do well to deny the entry before the cross, and it's a litany of errors, and go down 1, and so then you're just pushing, and one ball over the top to Ollie Watkins, who is maybe the most informed striker in the league, and he's having his way with Raya there. It's terribly disappointing as an Arsenal fan because that is a game that we should have won, and it's a game that we could have won, and it's frustrating that that happened and we should have won and we could have won and we didn't. It's frustrating that it's Villa because of Unai Emery and Emi Martinez. Like, I'm frustrated about that personally, just because it's like, man, like, go away, Unai. Like, I like you. I genuinely like Unai Emery. Like, I was disappointed when he got sacked when he did, because I genuinely like him as a manager. I understood the sacking, but I like him as a manager. But just, he is a boogeyman to us now. He beat us the next year in the Europa League. He hasn't, I don't think maybe he's lost to us one time in the Premier League. He's beaten us 3 times, 2 draws, 1 loss. And it's just like, bro, go away. Like, I just stop being a thorn in my side. And stop being a thorn in my side right now. Because dang it, I'm frustrated with City. I'm tired of them. They need to go away. Arteta needs to just beat Pep, and then Pep will feel like he needs to retire, and then everyone will be happy. And it's not going to happen now.
That was very long-winded.
I will give you this as a concession. As a Tottenham fan, if you could promise me that Arteta beating Pep to win the league, and you assured me that that means Pep retires or leaves the league,
everyone would take it.
Yeah.
Everyone wins in this scenario.
Yes.
I will take 1 year of Arsenal winning for that.
You know what would be super sweet? You know what would be super sweet? If and this is just like, this is not happening. Oh, because it can't happen, because we're going to meet in the semifinal if we beat Bayern and they beat Madrid. I was going to say we beat them on the last day to win the league and they're sad, and then we beat them in the final of the Champions League, but that can't happen. So I don't know, man. Obviously Pep's not going anywhere.
Or Harry Kane could just knock them out of the Champions League final.
No, we want Arsenal to knock them out. Actually, I would much prefer Real Madrid.
No. You misunderstood. No. I was only rooting for Arteta for one specific reason, to make Pep retire out of the league.
I understand.
In the Champions League, you've now entered a different zone where I want Harry Kane to knock all of you out.
I understand what you're saying, Sean. But what I'm saying, as the Arsenal fan, is I think I would actually prefer to play Real Madrid, because I think that would be more fun than playing Manchester City in the semifinal. Which is funny. We're recording this before Arsenal's second leg against Bayern has taken place, so all this is hypothetical, and Arsenal are probably going to get shellacked tomorrow when they play, or today when you're listening to this. They're probably getting shellacked right now by Bayern Munich
at the Allianz
in Munich. Yeah. So it probably doesn't matter. But yes, I am so disappointed this weekend in Arsenal. I just
not to rub salt in the wound, but is that the double this year?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And that's even worse. Like, Villa did the double.
Right. I forgot.
Tamzid and I were texting because we were both lamenting on Sunday. And my overarching, like we took 1 point off of Fulham this year. 1 point off Fulham. We took no points off Villa. So this is the problem. It's like, if even we had 4 points against Villa, or 4 points against Fulham, and 3 points against Villa, like if we have 6 more points right now, this is not even close. It's not even close.
Yep.
I mean, it's close, but like, you would look at this and be like, yeah. I mean, this Arsenal team should have shellacked Fulham twice, but we didn't. So it's just like, man, like I'm getting more frustrated thinking about it.
Well, I think that's enough of our complaining, and I think we should give the floor to our man.
My turn?
To our man, Brad. Yes, it is your turn.
I came into this game very, very, very scared of the chaos of Chelsea and the chaos of Everton. I left this game exceptionally excited. Can we finally give Cole Palmer his props?
I did. Okay. All right. I did. He's still got 10 penalties on the year. But what is it on? What's the total in the year? 20.
20. He's now tied with Erling
Okay.
Haaland at the top.
He's got 10 from open play. I'll give it credence. When
And
it was 16 and 10, you're not getting credence. That's well more than half.
he scored 10 goals in the past 4 games for Chelsea in all competitions.
And
You got it.
They were
He's a good scorer.
10 goals in the last 7 games. You said how many games?
4. That's 4 games.
How many of them
it's
are
like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like 3 or 4 of them are penalties.
At least 3 of them are penalties. He's got 2 against.
And I think there's a 4th one.
I think it's probably 4.
Yeah.
I don't say that as like a dig.
It's
but
a
like
dig.
It's just
Yeah.
But still,
question.
I was just giving you your props, giving Cole his props.
He had the fastest perfect hat trick in Premier League history. He is the only Chelsea player to have 2 hat tricks in the same season, and he did it back to back. Only.
Well, you have to remember they've only existed for 20 years, so it's unsurprising.
True.
True. So I've been on record all season saying that I think that Cole Palmer is a good player and that I would want him at Arsenal. I think obviously he's a good player and it's helped him tremendously to get playing time this year and get playing time, like important playing time. So like that's helped his development tremendously. But like I will be curious to see next season if he can replicate it and if he can improve upon it. And just because he is going to get so much more attention when teams are setting up against Chelsea, he's going to get double teamed all the time. We see this with Saka. Is that like there's so much more attention on Saka now for Arsenal that he has a harder time he doesn't have the freedom that he used to have. And so it will be interesting to me to see how Palmer does with more defensive attention thrown his way.
Bruh, he put all of Everton on skates for that first goal.
Okay, and this is my other point that I was going to say about this. This is Everton. Like, I guess you need to be happy.
Wrong.
You need to be excited. You need to be at the
I'm
team
very
in front
excited.
of you.
You're not gonna. Yes.
But it's Everton, and who do you guys have at the weekend? You have City in the cup,
the FA Cup,
and then Arsenal in the league on Tuesday. Like
yes.
It's very possible that you just get shellacked in both of those games, get walloped, and like we're back to toxic Chelsea.
I am coming back down to earth very, very quickly. I know that this weekend. I understand that. But Braithwaite, who's been tied with City, with Tottenham, with Real Madrid, got absolutely skinned on that first goal.
Yeah.
Straight nutmeg. And then the next defender, back heel pass to Nico, who fumbles it, but still like gets a foot on it for the 1-2. And a sweet like left corner goal coming in from the right side.
So we would be remiss, Brad, if we didn't ask you the same question that every reporter at Stamford Bridge asked Mauricio Pochettino after the match.
Yes.
Question.
You asked one question.
In the second half, there was an incident where Chelsea were awarded a penalty, and it looked like there was some consternation over who got to take the penalty. What's your read of the situation?
That shouldn't have happened. 100%. That shouldn't have happened. That was wrong. But so did you guys see the full clip or just like the 3 of them fighting?
I read his. Yes, I saw the full thing.
I've seen the extended clip.
All right, cool. Because
Gallagher comes over. Yeah.
No. For those that haven't, Madueke picks up the ball because he's taking the penalty. Him and Nico have it out. He's like, "No, man, it's mine. Like I got the penalty. I'm taking the penalty." Right. And then Cole Palmer comes over, and Cole Palmer hasn't missed a penalty yet. Cole Palmer is the number 1 like penalty taker, and he wanted to take the penalty. And so as Madueke and Palmer are then talking up, Palmer's like, "No, give me the ball. It's my penalty. I'm taking it." That's when Nico runs over. I was like, no, it's Maduke's. Madueke said he got it. And then Gallagher was like, no. I'm the captain. Give the ball to Palmer. Let's get this handled. Which, like, awesome. It's going to make me really sad when we sell Gallagher in the summer that he's stepping into that leadership role.
But what's also just partially funny about this is that is that the penalty wasn't given for the foul on Madueke. It was given for the foul on Cole Palmer. And so the penalty was actually awarded for the foul on Cole Palmer.
Yes.
I think this is getting blown out of proportion.
1,000%, 1,000%. And
I think it is too.
And I mean, look, there's a certain section of Chelsea Twitter that wants Poch gone, and they use whatever they can, and that's what this is everybody's blowing this out of proportion. Because like 2 weeks ago, he was like, we don't have a penalty taker. We don't have a number one penalty taker. We like whoever we think is best is going to be the one that's taking the penalties.
But that's all media speak.
I'm with you. But that's what they're comparing it to. Then they see this fight like, it's because you didn't have discipline, whatever BS. No, it's kids being kids, and they're going to learn, and it will never happen again.
I took it the completely different way. Brad, as a fan of Chelsea, do you want 4 guys fighting over your penalty spot?
Yeah.
Do you want 4 guys that want to take it?
Well, look, so here's the difference.
Whether it was 4 guys that want to take it or not, do you want 4 guys over that spot arguing over it? Well, because I do.
I want 4 guys ready to take that penalty. But here's the thing. Hold on.
It's 4-0 in the game. They're arguing over who's scoring the point.
Hold on. There's only
I want competitive people in my team.
Sure, but this isn't a competitive goal. Like, we were up 3-0 at this point. Like, the game was done.
4-0.
So
who cares?
All right, 4-0, correct. So, but here's the thing, right? There was only one other player that tried to take the ball when we were playing United, needed that goal. There was only Palmer and Madueke that wanted to take that penalty. So if Madueke wants to come in and argue, he's earned that right, because in the most pressure situation, he said, I want the penalty.
Who cares? Like, I think that there's 5 or 6 players at Arsenal that want to take the penalty, but they all understand what the hierarchy is. And
I don't care.
There's such a camaraderie in the team that Martin Odegaard wouldn't look at Saka and be like, give me the ball. Or Gabriel Martinelli, it's probably better. Martinelli would never walk up to Saka and be like, I'm taking it, fuck you. Like, I don't think that would ever happen, because there's such a camaraderie in the team. I think I would rather have a team spirit that doesn't allow that type of confrontation to happen.
Well, maybe it wasn't a fuck you. It's like,
I don't think
hey,
it was.
we're up 4-0. Let me get this one.
Okay, and so that is the thing. Like you saw this early in the season with Arsenal and Kai Havertz, is that like obviously like Saka and Odegaard were going back and forth taking penalties, and then we get a penalty. I forget who it was, and they gave it to Kai Havertz, and that was Havertz's first goal for Arsenal. And it wasn't like Havertz picked up the ball and was like, no, I'm taking it. They gave him the ball and said, you're taking this, score the goal. And so Cole Palmer could have, in that position, he already had his hat trick, picked up the ball, handed it to Madueke, and been like, bro, take this, score this goal. And it could have built his confidence. But now I think it hurts him a little bit.
I disagree.
I don't know.
In terms of a confidence thing, it's not like Madueke is like scared to shoot. Isn't like, look, it'd be 100% different if you're giving this like Mudryk. I think Madueke doesn't have a confidence problem. Like, if you see that boy play, he does not have a confidence problem. He's taking on whoever is in front of him when he's got the ball at his feet and he's taking a shot.
I just came away thinking. Go ahead.
No, you go for it. You came away thinking.
I came away thinking that there are some dogs at Chelsea that don't have a leadership yet. We've talked about that all year. There's a bunch of young kids and they're figuring it out. But you've got a bunch of dogs over there that all want the chance at it. And I thought that's a good problem. You'd rather try to corral that than 9 people that are scared of it.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously, you would rather have people who want to be there in the moment.
And I think,
just
Nico
give it
was
to Palmer because he takes them.
Nico wants to get to 15 goals. He's at 10, so that's why he wanted it.
Does he have some sort of like clause to get him more money or something?
No, I think it's 50. I think it's actually really 16. He's at 13 goals in all competitions. He wants to tie Drogba's highest goal total ever, which is 16 goals. I don't know.
I think that's
the story going around. I don't know if that's true or not, But
yeah, that 100% sounds like a Reddit story that someone made up, or a Twitter
somebody
story.
on
I just
Twitter
want-
trying to get some clicks.
I
Yeah.
just want dogs on my team that want a chance from the spot.
Hey,
that's fair.
I want
Uh-huh.
everybody on my team to want that spot.
But
You're right. But to James's point, you're right. There's got to be hierarchy. There's got to be a captain that steps in and says, "Nah."
And that is what
I
happens.
think Brad,
And
you were
that's-
saying that too. Like Gallagher stepped in, and was like, "Nah, this is not how this is happening."
Ultimately, it happened.
Yep. Here's the question from this game though. Is Pickford still England's number one?
Pickford shouldn't have been England's number one for
no.
the last 4 years, but it's Gareth Southgate, so of course he is.
We all agree.
It's such a moot point.
That third goal I thought was going over. Like I thought Palmer was going to miss it. The chip from like 30 yards out that literally went into the second stands and then dropped right into the net.
So like,
that was such a bad pass.
if
So for those that didn't like,
go ahead.
Pickford has the ball. He tries to thread the needle between Nico and Palmer. And Palmer just steps in front. It's like, nah, bro, this is not gonna work, and chips him from about like 25, 30 yards out.
If the only way you could make a claim for is if Nick Pope or Aaron Ramsdale were playing consistently and having good seasons, that like those would be the only two guys that I could see Southgate swapping to.
And John Stone is injured too.
Exactly. So like there's just no one is there to displace him. He's healthy.
Johnson's injured, Pope's injured, and Ramsdale is out of form.
Hasn't played in 6 years.
Hasn't played. Yeah.
Hey, Pickford has the second most clean sheets.
Behind whom?
9. Behind your boy David Raya.
I knew.
And tied with your boy Leno.
Yep.
3 Arsenal keepers in the top 4. 3 Arsenal keepers in the top 4.
Arsenal be spreading keepers around the league. All right, that's all.
Including League 2, right?
Wait,
yeah, maybe we'll get into that someday.
We forgot the other one. Liverpool not finding that magic on Palace. What word to go by Palace? And Liverpool took an L. That's what we can all be excited for.
Yes.
I mean, I was excited about that until I saw that Arsenal also lost.
Liverpool bad. Liverpool bad. We can all be happy.
I would have.
This is a fun week for me. So
I don't know. I much rather would have had Liverpool win and Arsenal lose, and Liverpool being first than City.
Yeah.
Like I can't stand City. All right, that's all we got. We will be back tomorrow. We have a pick'ems. We will be previewing match week 34 and the FA Cup semifinals from Wembley Stadium. So we'll be picking games, and you guys can too, but you'll have to tune in tomorrow. Same place, same time, Knuckleheads. And until then, you can hit us up on social media. That guy on top is at KSBradG. Down below is Whiteheart_Sean. I am at James Tiffany. We can collectively be reached at redcard_radio. That's all on X or Twitter if you prefer. And you can email us at info.redcardradio@gmail.com. Other than that, we will be back tomorrow, and we can't wait to be here. Have a good one, and see you soon.